All right, well, here we are. Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you to our attendees. This is the last session of the last day. I guess if we were face to face, there'd be like people sleeping in the room, wishing you'd stop talking. But everybody's at home or at their office or wherever, so they should be pretty happy. This session is Top 100 ProAdvisor Quick Tips with Esther Friedberg-Karp, Sharon Fuller, and MB Raimondi. If you don't know her, Esther is an advanced certified in 3 countries. We learned that yesterday. It's amazing. She's Top 100 ProAdvisor 2015 until current. We haven't announced the 2022 yet. That's coming out.
Does she have a slide? Does she have a slide?
Thank you.
I got a slide somewhere. Yeah, I'm actually the
there's
last
MB.
slide.
We're going to go back.
There I am.
We're going to go backwards. Sorry. So that's Esther, and she is a 2-time award winner, among many other things. And now we're going backwards to go forwards. And then Sharon is the managing partner at multiple accounting firms, ADP advisory board member, a top 100 ProAdvisor, and a consultant in various areas of firm productivity. And then there's MB Raimondi, our 2019 ProAdvisor of the Year, a top 100 ProAdvisor from 2014, which was the first year until present. She is an advanced certified in QuickBooks Desktop and QuickBooks Online, among many other things. My name is Gary Dehart. I don't have a slide, but I'm the publisher of Insightful Accountant and your host for today. And once we get this thing rolling, I think I'm going to go quiet because I'm not sure that I have a whole lot. There's so much knowledge between these 3 ladies that there's not much I can bring. So I do want to say thank you to our sponsor. Sponsor for this session is Ignition, and Ignition is the world's first client engagement and commerce platform for professional services businesses. They work to streamline how they engage clients and get paid. Over 5,000 accounting and professional services firms around the world use Ignition to win new business with impressive digital proposals, engage clients with a clear scope of work, and get paid on time by automating payment collection. Ignition integrates with leading business apps such as QuickBooks, Gusto, Carbon, Xero, and Zapier to automate time-consuming tasks. And we've heard a lot about automation and time-consuming and bringing up your time to do the fun stuff. Probably going to hear a little bit more of that again today. A couple of housekeeping items. CPE is available for this session, but as you know, you've got to be here 50 minutes and you have to participate in the polls. We will send you the certificate within 24, 48 hours after this session. If you do have questions, put them in the chat or in the Q&A panel. And then a link to the recording can be found on our YouTube channel. It will also be emailed to you, and I will put that link into the chat as well, along with the slide deck after I go quiet and go off screen. Poll question. I don't know if we're starting off with the poll question. We are. So I'll go quiet after that. So poll number 1. How many apps do you currently use for your business, it says, or for your practice? Like number 1, I only use what I'm forced to use. I love apps and integration. Apps are life.
I don't know who came up with that. That's good. Apps are life.
Somebody said, I don't like tech.
I was trying to be creative. You know, these poll questions can get so
dry.
Yeah, I try to.
We're going to wrap it up here. Let's see.
Tacos in there.
Well, 20% believe that apps are life. 38% love them and integration, and 40% only use what I'm forced to use. Wait, isn't this a business advisory community? That's kind of funny. But I'm with you. You know what? Yeah. I think a lot of it is just, you think about it, you're like, oh gosh, it's going to consume so much time to add anything, right? And it's hard to commit to that. I get it. So that's thank you for participating in that. And I am going to go off screen here if I can remember how to drive. It is all yours.
Okay, so key apps and integrations that we can't live without. I came up with this slide. I mean, these are not all the apps I use, but just off the top of my head, these are definitely ones that I can't live without. I'm sure a lot of people have heard a lot about Zapier, and it's not like I'm a Zapier pro. I'm not Heather Satterley, but but you know, it's really easy to come up with certain zaps that are just super simple, that make my life really easier. And I'm going to just jump down to the SMS texting. I do not encourage clients to text me at all. I don't want that. However, what I do have going on with Zapier is that sometimes I'm concerned that something's going to show up in my email and I'm going to miss it because my inbox is overflowing. So sometimes I want to be texted as to something that has happened. So if something key, if a trigger has happened, I may wanted to send an email out to the client saying, thank you for reaching out. You'll be hearing from me shortly, type of thing. But I also arranged to have it send me an SMS text to say that somebody has filled out my lead capture form in my CMS system, Dubsado. So I've got all kinds of things going on at the same time, triggering other things. And the odd time I need to be texted just so I know that number one, that my systems are working, my zaps are working, but also to remind myself, oh yeah, I got to call this person. And it actually and I also arranged for it to put it in my Google Calendar. So to reach out to this new client that's reached out to me at whatever phone number or email address. So I try and make sure that nothing falls through the cracks. So I've got, you know, the Google Calendar, and I've also got the Gmail going on. My email address has Gmail in the background. So that's why I say that I have Google Workspace as well. I've got Calendly and Zoom working out. I should have put something else in here too. I use Google Chrome a lot. And so I use a lot of Chrome extensions as well as Chrome bookmarks. So if somebody wants to book time with me, I also use what are those called? Those shortcuts when you're sending it in Gmail and
Like
you hit
Bitly?
yeah, when you the
Bitly.
backslash, yeah, but it's not even Bitly's. It's like a backslash, and it creates this. I've got all now I have to look and see what it is. I'll tell you. It's where it's just that it's to prevent you having to type the same thing over and over again. And you set up these things where as soon as you hit the backslash, it brings up your menu of things you've set up, and you just choose one of them. Like here, book a 15-minute call with me. Here, book a 30-minute Zoom with me. So it does all that, which is great. And Dext for receipt capture, because I do a lot of things with multiple currencies, and I'm not crazy about the receipt capture function in QuickBooks Online as of yet because it doesn't handle that. And lastly, Remarkable. I'm going to show you this. Okay, I don't know if anybody can see that. Remarkable.com. It's basically a tablet. It's prevents you from being distracted by Facebook and text messages, whatever. And it actually feels like paper.
Oh yeah, you showed me that.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
So,
cool.
you know, I can write this out. And then what happens is I can have it uploaded to my cloud, whether it's Dropbox or Google Drive or what have you. And then I can save it wherever I want, but I also have a subscription to their Connect service, which actually takes my chicken scratchings and turns it into searchable text as well. So it's pretty cool. I also use the Remarkable Google Chrome extension. So that if I see a website that I'm looking at right now and I want to look at it later, I just click on that and it loads it to the Remarkable, and I can mark it up and then I can load it later and email it out. It's pretty cool. When the pandemic started, I did a whole bunch of scanning. And that was my project, which was to make the place paperless. And it worked really well for a while. And then the paper started creeping up and up and up again. And I thought, this is ridiculous. So now I'm getting into Remarkable.
That's great. You know, you are always taking notes on the meetings that we're on together. And I just figured you were taking them on your pad of paper, like I have
Can
my
I
little
Just
low
show you how much I need
yellow
that.
pad of paper, right, Sharon? too.
Even worse, mine's like the back of my daily calendar pages. So
Oh, wow.
Esther is light years ahead.
Okay, don't give me too much credit. Don't give me too much credit. I'm still getting used to the idea. It's not second nature
so-
yet. So, but
No, it's a
I'm
habit, right?
yes.
It's such a habit. And then we've got all this amazing technology in front of us. Yeah, I'm still paper clipping my daily and I write on it. And then I sit here and I'm like, what was important? No,
Right.
none of it. Shred.
Oh, I
Okay.
also
Don't
use
agree on
the sticky notes that are on your
Oh.
computer,
Yep.
not the paper ones, but the ones that you can just put on your desktop. And I keep
Yeah.
track of things that way too.
By the way, the thing I couldn't think of with the
I have a rocket
backslash, that was called, it's Gmail snippets by Cloud HQ.
Oh.
So I use those a lot.
Dawn in chat just said Rocketbook. And actually, Dawn, I have two Rocketbooks. I have the big one and the notebook size, and they are in my file cabinet. The file cabinet really just holds hand lotion and my Rocketbook.
I have two Rocket books as well, and it wasn't the same as this. It's just amazing. It's different.
I was always going to transcribe for me as I guess it's like an Apple Pen, right? As I'm writing, I want to throw it into something and then I want it to transcribe it into words for me. Like that's
Right.
what I want.
So Alicia asks, can your writing and Remarkable be turned into typed text or search? If you have their Connect subscription, like you buy this thing outright, obviously. But then if you, and they give you 100 days free of their Connect service, which does exactly what you said, Alicia. And if you like it, then it's a monthly fee. I don't know how much it is in US dollars. It costs me 10 Canadian dollars a month.
I just wrote that down on my pad of paper so I can look it up after.
Esther,
This
like,
is
are
the
you a
only thing I'm
reseller
old
for
school in,
them?
I promise you guys, the only thing.
I am not a reseller. I wish I were, because I'm turning into a total freak about this.
Right, I know, you should get
Yeah.
something out of this.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. They should be sending you like rocket books, a lot of them.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, these are basic things, right? And I'm sure there are other apps I could think of, right? But these are things I use daily, and I don't know what I would do without them, because so many of them just talk to each other either natively or via Zapier. And
Yeah.
Was it you, Sharon, that said, who was it that said the other day that Zapier lets you put off hiring somebody for like
That was
a year?
Nio.
Oh, it's Nio. Okay. Absolutely. And you know, I mean, not only does it reduce your expenses and reduce the stress on you and make sure that things don't fall through the cracks, but in a way, it also makes you appear larger than you are, right?
That is the thing these days, right? Like I tell a lot of clients that they're small and I'm like, but by hiring an accounting firm, we're going to respond as your accounting firm and you're going to seem huge, even though there's two of you like working on a futon. So yeah, I agree with that sentiment.
Martha asks if I have a discount code. I'm not aware of one, but Martha, I think I know how to get in touch with you. If I find one, I'll send it to you.
You might have to send it to everybody who's on.
Yeah, let me see.
Including Sharon and myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it my mission to get you sponsored by Rocketbook. I'm telling you. I'm gonna send all these webinars.
Okay. Anyway, I mean, you guys use Zoom and Calendly?
Yeah. I mean, Calendly is like the go-to, right? And I love that it's free, or I love that it's so upgraded now. I have like 27 Google Calendars and I think I can add 10 of them, which is great. So now instead of having to worry where, double booking, you don't have to. And it's so integrative and just specific. So I love Calendly. It's my life.
Agreed. Gary, do you want to move to the next slide? Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is MB slide, right?
Right. Yeah. So these are the ones I put up, and anybody who knows me knows I'm like a QuickBooks geek, and I was a T-Sheets. I mean, I love T-Sheets, and I've continued to use QuickBooks Time. Even though, well, so I do a lot of project work, you know, I don't have a lot of ongoing relationships with clients, so they, you know, they come back when they need help kind of thing. And so I do charge by the hour a lot of times when I'm doing projects, but even the people that I invoice on a monthly basis, I still want to know. I mean, it's the accountant in me, you know, I'm a
Yeah.
CPA and I've kept paper timesheets from the time that I worked in public accounting. And so love T-Sheets because it makes it so much easier. And the fact that then it integrates with QBO, because I have QuickBooks Time outside of QBO, because I've heard too many horror stories of people who have integrated their QuickBooks Time with their QBO subscription and they've lost all of their past time. So I end up keeping them separate, but I still get a lot of really good information. And then my daughter also does work for some of the clients who I've set up on QuickBooks, and they're like, oh, do you have anybody who can do bank recs or bank feeds? And so she tracks her time and she gets paid hourly. Along with that is Melio, whether it's green or purple. You know, so green being built inside of QBO. It's Heather was talking about this in the last session, you know, it's an app, it's free, it makes it so easy. And if I want that approval process, I can go into Melio Purple. It's just me, so I don't ever have to worry about that. But I can get people paid so much easier using that rather than going to my bank and, you know, having them send a check or do a transfer and then waiting for it to come through bank feeds or recording it in QuickBooks. And I use the QuickBooks mobile app a lot. I mean, back in the days when I was traveling a lot, which I think I will start traveling again. I think now that the major part, I think, of the pandemic is over. I think, Alicia, you were the one who made the comment that you learned from me that if you're tipping the taxi driver, the hotel shuttle person, I just set the money on my knee and I take a picture of it with my mobile app, and then I have a record that I spent that money, and then can record it in QuickBooks.
I never thought of taking a picture of the cash.
I know, but how do you keep track of tips if you
Yeah.
if you don't, are you going to write it? I guess you could record it an expense, but I just take a picture of it. I remember the first time going out to dinner with Bryce Forney, who's one of the other national trainers. And again, being a classically trained accountant and used to keeping every piece of paper, and he took a picture of the receipt. He happened to pay for dinner that night. He took a picture of the receipt and he just crumples up the receipt and he throws it away. And I'm like, oh my God. It's like, that was a while ago. I've come a long way since then. I do the same thing. And then I put things like a payroll service, whether it's whatever payroll service. It's amazing to me how many clients struggle with payroll. And if you were on the last session with Heather, it's trying to find out what their struggles are and what they need and what app can we get them that would integrate with, because all my clients are QuickBooks clients, with QuickBooks, but still get them what they need and just make their life a lot easier, sometimes with time tracking, sometimes without. And again, there's a lot of different payroll services, or a couple of different payroll services that I work with that I like that integrate to QuickBooks. And then you already talked about Zoom. And then I do a lot of training development. And even when I'm training my clients, I use Snagit rather than Snippet, which is your free that you get with Windows. So I pay for Snagit, but it's by TechSmith. It's not very much, but the fact that I can easily get the screenshots and mark them up. And as I'm training my clients, I try and put a procedure manual, PDF, not paper, together, and having those screenshots there makes a world of difference. And I like that.
I love Snagit. I love
Yeah.
Snagit. And I think the snippet tool in Windows it looks really awful in comparison. But
Right.
Snagit, yeah.
And I even went through the Snagit training to try and, make things better. Try to get
Okay.
better shots and what can I do?
MB Rich asked, what's the difference between Snagit and Snippet?
So Snippet is the free tool that you get with Windows. And you can, I mean, honestly, because I used Snagit before Snippet even came out. I think that Snagit gives you a lot more versatility, a lot more options of what you can insert and what you can cut out. And then it's not very expensive. Do you remember, Esther? I think I have a yearly contract, which gives me the new versions of it. And I think I just got an email and it was like $15.
It's peanuts.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
that's the initial price or just the renewal price.
I don't know, but it really is. It's worth its weight in gold. It is.
It just offers more, right? It's more robust. It has more options and you can do more.
Yeah, but you know what? There's one thing that you're talking about Snagit, and you're talking about it, that it's by TechSmith. And so I think that you and I should both talk about Camtasia, which is also by TechSmith, which is for creating videos. I mean, there are lots of video creators out there. There's Loom and whatever, but I know that MB and I have both used Camtasia quite a bit in doing training for Intuit.
Right, Laura Madeira, man, she is
Oh,
the
yeah,
queen of it. She
she's the
puts
queen of
together the most
Camtasia.
professional videos.
Yeah,
Mine are not that professional.
yeah, she knows how to
Um,
produce them.
Yeah, and then I put Slack, so similar to Monday, I mean, just a communication, and for me, it's usually with team members, whoever I'm working with on different projects, and we have different channels. I have worked with clients on it to some degree, but not as much as different teams that I've worked with. And then I'm going to just skip down to the bottom so Sharon has a chance to chat too, is a password keeper.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
I happen to use RoboForm. I know people use LastPass. There's all sorts of password keepers out there, but I don't think you should run your life either professionally or personally without a password keeper. And you can have them create the passwords. I typically don't, just because I'm afraid someday I'm going to not remember my master password, but I might have a chance at remembering what my actual password is. But I think we need that security.
100%.
Miriam asks if any of us use Scribe How for client procedures. I know Heather uses it.
No,
No,
but
I
I just
haven't.
clicked on Martha's link that she posted and I've got it open to the right here just to see what that is. It looks kind of cool.
It is a pretty cool thing. I know that I've seen Heather showed it to me once, where it allows you to lay out the procedures in it's almost like a very what's the word, robust way. It's very easy. There are live links and things like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm actually going to forward that on over.
We may come out of this with the most information that we
I
can.
did
use
at
in
the
our
session
practice, right?
yesterday. I actually pulled up 3 things. I'm like, this is really cool. Cause I think I was even saying we get in this whole, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right. And to me, less is more. So I'd rather find one amazing app that does everything. But it's just not the world we live in, to be honest. There's, so many things that do such better things. And it's so hard to get stuck in what we were already doing and stay there. And honestly, what's really important now is not having 27 different apps. It's how do they all integrate? Do I need to log into each of them separately? Do they all come into one? I call it my source of truth, like where are they all reading into, where I can go this one place and gather my information. So that's kind of more important to me now, really, than just having one or as little as possible. So,
I think to
I
Esther's
think
point
we are
Oh, sorry.
up
Go ahead, Heather.
for another poll here. If I can, there we go.
How many
Well,
answers can they give?
one.
Oh, single choice, it says, huh?
Mm.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Your most
my-
relatable answer.
My poll doesn't actually match what's on the screen. How about that?
No, that does not at
So answer
all.
the poll question, not what's on the screen. So the question is, what's your
Wow.
biggest challenge when it comes to your client engagements? Something wrong.
What do we just assume? Like the first line is the first one, second line is the second one?
No, it's a completely different question.
It
Yeah.
is, but
Yeah,
if
I-
you wanted to choose word of mouth, would you just click getting paid on time? Is that what it would, is that how we would get the answer?
The
Let's
question
see.
is on the
Let's
poll.
All right, so we're gonna
Thank
go ahead and
you,
wrap this up in
confusing
about 3
Sharon.
seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Sorry about that confusion, but I think I just put them out of order. So that other one should come back up.
So Facebook social media groups is what I'm seeing, right? Is that what you guys?
Or onboarding new clients
I don't
and
know.
then
Either
managing manual engagement letters and then getting paid on time. So, all right, thank you.
Don't worry, you'll still get your CPE for this, everyone.
Right.
Exactly.
So this is my sad little list. I have this little list to my right and I don't even know why I didn't add all the stuff. I don't know. I think I was too worried about the poll questions. So we are, I have always been really Mac based. I made the switch a long time ago and I'm that like pro Apple everything. So a lot of the stuff we do really kind of revolves around that and what works with that. But everything we do is also Google. So Google Voice is how we communicate with our clients. I'm not giving anybody my personal number. I want to know if I am at like a hockey game, if I should answer the phone or not. If it comes through on Google Voice, I know I don't have to. Email, we use Gmail, calendars, Chrome and extensions are life. So any of you that use any of these apps or these integrations, always look to see if there is a Chrome or a Safari extension, because it just adds so much more ease to your daily work life on those extensions. But even for that, I use Airmail. Again, that's a Mac thing. So I'll have, 10, 12 emails and I'm not logging into every Gmail. They're hosted by Gmail, but they read into Airmail, kind of like an Outlook, I guess. But it's Airmail for Mac. BusyCal manages, again, all of my Gmail calendars. It's just in one place. There's an app for your phone, your computer. I am looking to my right. You're not seeing this on the slide because I really feel like I left a lot off. So I apologize if you're wondering where I'm pulling this from. Of course, Zoom is life. We've all learned that. For those of us who are using it before COVID, we realized during COVID, the rest of the world jumped in and then kind of shut down our data. But Zoom's come a really long way, whether they wanted to or not. And it's hard to switch to anything else. I don't know about you guys. There's so many options out there, but I mean, aren't we on Zoom right now? Zoom is they just know what they're doing. But really my world revolves around teamwork. I mean that on so many different levels, but Teamwork is a application. They have apps, they integrate with a lot of things. And my biggest thing is projects. So Teamwork has this whole project management tool. And one thing I love about a lot of the project management tools is that there's more than one way to skin a cat. And Teamwork kind of has it in there too. They have their way that you could do it, or 5 different ways. I've been on Asana, been on Todoist, been on other things, but this is just perfect. And what really kills me about Teamwork is I'm trying so hard to get them to really advertise and promote in the accountant realm, because I think it has all the things accountants need. It's got budgets in there by project. It's got project billing. It's got these amazing reports. It's just got everything. It's got estimated time if you want to put in and say, hey team, here's this task and we're allowing you, 30 minutes to do this, the budget's this, anyhow, and then you can report against it. So it's got these amazing reporting analytics. And then integrated into it, it's got its own chat system. So we don't use Slack anymore, it's always chat. And the cool thing is that when you're chatting with your team or whoever, you can have different, the project, say a customer is a project, they get their own chat channel. So you keep it all in one spot, and then you can like right click and create a task in your project management. So it all ties, and then it ties even more. I know this thing's amazing. It's got Teamwork Desk. So every one of our clients has like an email. And instead of going into Gmail and again, managing all those emails, We read into Desk, which is a ticketing system, and again, reads into projects, which reads into chat. So it's really integrative.
How did you get into this? How did you get into it? Because I'm sorry, my mouth is hanging open again. How did you get into this, Sharon? This sounds really wonderful.
So we were using Asana, and there's nothing wrong with Asana, but the problem I had with Asana is for it to do what I wanted it to do, I had to buy 6 or 7 different other applications. I had to buy Harvest. I had to buy this. I had to buy this. So now I'm like, this $5 a month per team member Asana has now become $50 a month per team member. And I'm in 7 different places. Again, where's my source of truth, right? It's just not, to me, it's not scalable if you ever want to change. So we started looking for something new and somehow came across Teamwork. And at the time it just launched, they're an Ireland company. There were like 10 people there. And so we kind of started beta, and I like, can I get on the call with your product development team? Because I want to give you all of my opinions and stuff so you can build this so I can use it. And they really kind of took it all to heart. I've done quite a few case studies for them, but then it's just honest. And they have a CRM tool. It's just, to me, just the most amazing project management tool. Like I said, you don't hear about it. They never.
I'm thinking, why haven't I heard of it? Yeah.
I'm pushing on that. I really am. I just did another case study and I said, you guys are crazy. But yeah, so this runs my world. It runs my personal life as well. Like, and the cool thing is if it's just you, it's free. I think you could add it to, like, there's a whole free section of it where you can manage. There's an amazing app. Like I said, it integrates into Google, integrates with Dropbox, integrates with a whole, like integrates with Slack. There's all these integrations, but it does do a lot of this on its own. You can, if you're a project biller, if you're hourly biller, you log your time in Teamwork, and then it'll just shoot it to QuickBooks so you can invoice based on that project time and a line item for you. So anyhow, I'm a huge supporter of their product, and I'm not being paid in any way. Believe me, I've been trying to, but it's like me with Teamwork and you with Rocketbook. I'm like, hey, I love you, pay me. No, so it's amazing. So that kind of runs the world. Listio is a great client communication tool. If you want to, like, your team and collaborative, if you want it in one spot. So, you know, they've got this really cool document signing feature, just everything's kind of in there. So that's a good one. We're always been QuickBooks. Sorry to all my X word people are out there, but I've been a QuickBooks pro since as long as I can possibly remember. I think I started using QuickBooks in 2002 desktop. Was it before that? I don't know. I'm probably not as experienced, but when it went online, I remember how terrible it was, but it's so amazing now. So we're QuickBooks. And I'm really kind of stuck in my old ways of Expensify and Bill.com. We do a lot of Melio. We were really kind of moving over to that because it is free for our clients, which is huge. What I really want is Melio to have an app. That would be amazing, but that's probably up and coming. And then of course, just like the normal stuff, 1Password is huge for me. And again, I use that personally. Anything that is any way secure goes in 1Password. Oh, and then Martha put, yes, actually PandaDoc's that's how I do all contracts, and everything is through PandaDoc. And that is a really cool software. There are a lot more that I realized that I used. InSync, again, big Google person. And so if you're on like 3 or 4 different drives, like say you're added to 4 or 5 different client drives and you want them all to read to your computer, there's this software, this tech called InSync, INSYNC. And what it'll do is it reads in all those different Google drives and puts them on your computer. So you can, like almost how Dropbox syncs to your computer. Because right now with Google, you can only link 1, I think maybe 2 if you're lucky, drives to sync to your laptop, and or to your computer, and I don't want to get onto my browser. So InSync is a big one. I've been starting to get into Otter as well.
Otter's fantastic.
Okay, good. Yay!
Tell me about Otter.
Otter.ai. Okay, so it transcribes your meeting. So if you have a recording of a meeting, let's say a Zoom recording, although I think Zoom has its own transcription thing now, I believe. But I heard that. I haven't really looked into it, but if you've got something recorded and you can actually have it transcribe it if it's while you're doing it live, Or if you just have something recorded, you can upload the recording to Otter, and then it turns it into a script. It transcribes it.
I love it. You guys,
pretty
I love
good.
all this technology for a lot of reasons. One, technology is cool. Two, and I say this all the time, I am lazy. Like the more things that can be done that I don't physically have to do, I'm like, sign me up. I don't even care. What's it cost? Oh, good. I saved 5 hours. I don't even care. Just, I don't want to do it.
Well, your time is worth so much. It is. I mean, I do
Otter?
some spotlight articles for Insightful Accountant. And so what I do is I do Zoom, a Zoom recording, and then I upload the recording to Otter. And then, okay, now I can figure out how I'm going to write this article.
So I'm
You know,
right with
I
you
don't
on
have to
that
take
one.
notes. Yeah.
Everyone's like, do you use Loomly? I'm like, no, I already use Zoom. I've got a subscription. I record on Zoom.
Is it Otter?
I feel like I am an old soul when it comes to a lot of my tech. Like I said, I'm just really weird about, I've already got something that does that, even though, but so I'm trying to break out of that shell and get into more of a, I've got that solution to let me be open to your solution. I think it's because I'm loyal. You know, you get really, like when you're a beta user for Bill.com, you become loyal. You helped create whether they want to give you credit or not, you still were part of the people who are like, this is dumb. And you want to be a part of that. And it's hard to let go. And I know that's just, it's my, you know, I'm internal, or I'm letting some emotions out right here, but.
MB said something on her slide. She mentioned Google Keep, which a lot of people don't even think of. And I use it for a number of things. Truth be told, I don't have a password keeper. And I'm feeling like, oh, you know, I've been under a rock. I should really do that. I've been using Google Keep for my passwords, which is probably not the best thing to do.
Well, it
I have a love
depends on
hate
if
with
somebody
Google.
can get into your Google account.
Yeah,
Right.
I hate Google. They're the most unsecure, terrible thing, but they're so easy to use and they integrate with everything. And it's just, I'm like, just don't put anything in email, guys. Like, let's just know our emails are probably going to get hacked. So keep it out of the emails. But I just keep going back. It's like Stockholm syndrome, I guess. I don't know. I just don't think there's a lot of other great solutions. What's our solution? Our opposite, Microsoft 365. I mean, are there other solutions out there to host our emails aside from Microsoft and Gmail that are comparable? I mean, I guess. What do you guys use?
I have Gmail on the back end.
I have Gmail,
I
and
did for
actually,
a long time. I mean,
I
I just
didn't-
whatever website email, and then
so
I tried to forward it to a Gmail account, and then finally I made the switch to put Gmail in the back end, and I love it because I was
Yeah,
using Google for everything anyways.
Yeah.
you know, you mentioned Bryce Forney, and he's the one that convinced me to have Gmail on the back end for my email. And everything is just so much easier. I don't have to worry about, you know, I have a record of every email I've sent, regardless of the device from which I sent it. And I didn't have that with Outlook or before I went to Gmail on the back end. And just everything is so nicely, tightly integrated. Yes, it's Google, and yes, they've taken over the world, but I see why.
It's gonna be Google, Walmart, McDonald's. That's all we're gonna have left.
Amazon.
And
Yes.
then I'm fine with that. I can live.
And Martha says that she uses Google Tasks for miscellaneous to-dos. You know, there's so many Google things. I didn't even think of that.
There are tons. I'm so structured and micromanaging when it comes to my project management, and I've just got my teamwork like down to an art.
I'm so going to look into that. I'm so going to look into, you know, I'm a Monday.com user, right? Because I do a lot of project work, but now I'm going to look at teamwork because I want to see if there's something better. I mean, I love Monday.com, and but if you know, you're saying that all these things can work together, I want to see.
Yeah, that's what I like. Like I said, that's what I like about him.
Okay, we'll let Gary ask question 4, which is really question 3. I'm not sure. What type of apps do you think you need to integrate into your business?
And this ties in well with all the back and forth. And somebody just wrote in, you know, learning so much because there's so many things out there, right? So many options, and it's so helpful to have people who are using solutions to say, yeah, this works. No, this doesn't work, or, might be good for you, but I'm stuck in my old ways. So if you want the CPE, go ahead and participate. And one other thing that I was chuckling at when Sharon was talking, I want to put a disclaimer out there that Insightful Accountant does not endorse the skinning of cats.
I gotta find a better reference because I say that a lot and I always think to my side, like somebody is gonna report me to PETA. I love cats, but we get what I'm saying, right?
Absolutely. But we also know that you like boy bands too, NSYNC, right?
Are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Well,
It
you
was
said-
New Kids on the Block if you want to date me that far back.
Okay.
I was way beyond NSYNC, but I do love me some Justin Timberlake. Where did that come from, Gary?
No,
So
you said
random.
NSYNC. You said NSYNC about the app or the.
It's a dad joke. I'm sorry.
There we go.
I missed it.
Yeah, no worries. Here we go. All right, give you the results. Project management,
Let's give you all
50%.
link to teamwork.
And so that's right. But wait until Sharon gets her discount code and her referral
I
code.
was just
I
gonna
do
ask her if she
have
has
one.
one. Oh, you do?
I definitely do have one. Yeah, yeah.
Put it in.
I made them give it back to me because they took it away from everybody. I'm like, I talk about you too much. You're gonna give me a code back. So let me find
Yeah,
it.
throw it in there. People would love that. There we go. And passwords being number 2, security and passwords, critical. Esther, get out of Google.
You're right.
I have to do the same thing. I have mine. I won't tell you where mine is. So, all right, let's go
It's
on
on
to
a
the
piece
next
of
one.
paper.
Thank
It's
you.
on a sticky note, isn't it,
Did you
Terry?
guys notice
in my
that
phone.
none of us really talked about security much? Do you think it's because it's something that it's more like a ingrained, it's what we have to do, and so it's almost like, hey, we all have email. Is that or are we just, so I want to look at like that Practice Protect and SwissNet, I believe was just an AWS. I want to look into those a little bit more because while I think, hey, we're on 1Password and we send everybody their laptops and they have to log in from here, like how there's got to be, probably need another level of security there. And that was really brought up at AWS, not to throw out that name 20 times, but just in case anybody that was there. That was like almost the theme of everything last week was security.
What, talk a little bit further about that. What do you 3 do from a security standpoint for yourselves?
I threaten lives. Just kidding. I get home addresses. I have a guitar. No, I'm just kidding. So we use 1Password and nobody can see the password. They can only log into things with their actual work email, like they can't log in from it elsewhere. We get notices if they set up sessions. I think Apple or Mac, I don't do this, but Apple or Mac on the background has this thing you can set up that manages all the computers that are on your Apple ID, and you can kill sessions and you can see if they start a session in a different place or something. So I know we're doing that, but I don't think it's enough. In my opinion, I think we need to do more.
And do you talk to your clients about it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, hey guys, so let me tell you what we don't do. No, just overinsure yourself, right? And hope for the best. I mean, is that what we all do all this time? Overinsure yourself and be like, it won't happen to me. It's like a one in whatever. But now that we're so tech, we're so online, we're like, I feel like security and this protection is something we don't think about until it actually hits us, and something, I'm worried about now. And I'm thinking, all right, I gotta do something about this, because what happens if, fortunately everything's in 1Password, but
Yeah. So I hardly go anywhere these days, but when I do, if I'm in a public Wi-Fi area, I use a VPN.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. And I also have cyber insurance, right? And I do a lot of 2-factor authentication.
What I like,
yeah,
and
factor.
other password keepers may do the same thing, but what I like about RoboForm is if they find that my password for somewhere has been not my password itself, but that password has been used, I don't know, by hackers. I don't know how they do it on the back end, but they'll say, you really don't want to use this password anymore, log in and make sure you change your password.
That's pretty cool.
So somehow they figure out what the hackers, which
So-
passwords they find.
So here's a morbid thought. What happens when we croak? And like what happens to our passwords if we need somebody to have access to it, but only in the case of our untimely demise?
I think that we put it in a sealed envelope somewhere, like,
But
you
passwords
know-
change so often, right?
no, but if I give Mark my master password,
Okay,
he'll be able to get into RoboForm and
okay.
be able to access all my passwords and logins. Right now, I do not have my master password written down anywhere. So
Okay,
then
Sharon,
it'd be SOL.
Mine
Sharon, what
is
do you
saved
think?
in another instance of 1Password. I like to create complications and like ridiculous circles.
yeah, this sounds like my parents. Honest to God, they put their wills and their power of attorneys inside their safety deposit box, which we didn't have access to.
Mine's right here. If anybody needs it in my file cabinets. I'm sorry, this isn't funny because we're talking about tech, but it is kind of funny. I think we all have those little like old school things we hang on to, but yeah, I have a personal 1Pass and then a work 1Pass, and I keep my personal 1Pass master pass in my work one and my work one in my personal. So that way, if I'm locked out on one or the other, I can get in. I kind of set it up that way, but
Oh, that's a good
1Pass
idea.
1Pass is pretty, I've never used Robo. I used LastPass and I was just, LastPass was not doing it for me. 1Pass has been amazing. But again, 1Pass works better with Mac and I'm on Apple and everything. So I was told that that's really the reasoning.
No.
here-
So
here- I was just
Go
gonna say,
ahead,
there's a
Gary.
I was just gonna say a couple things in the chat there, or in the
Yeah.
Q&A, or in the chat. Master password is in my, Alicia put in her master password is in her power of attorney. And I guess that's for like the password keeper, which is a great idea. And
It is.
then I have a project in my workflow app assigned to my husband and business coach titled, "This is the file you need if I get sick or die." So yeah, just kind of that in case of emergency, break glass, right?
mhm.
And then so it's funny, Sharon, you kind of took us down this road on
Sorry.
security, and yeah, but nobody's talked about, trying to think of a couple of companies that are, hey, we come in and we'll make you secure, right? Tech Guru, what's the other one? Tech for Accountants are the two that I've heard of, not endorsing, and I don't know much about them other than I've had conversations with them. Do you guys use any type of service like that that's more of a holistic total practice? We're going to lock you down type?
No, especially when you
No.
have a fully remote company. Where are you coming into? My
Well, I'm sure they
office,
come in
my
remotely,
house?
but
Like,
um,
okay, sorry. Well, you're taking my instinct literally. I'm taking your question literally.
right.
No, I think, like I said, I'm really gonna look into Practice Protect and Swissnet. And the reason I keep saying those over and over is because I've done a little bit of research and I feel like those are pretty heavy hitters in the ball game. Also, Right Networks with if anybody follows Rootworks at all, they have something. So I am going to do a little bit, maybe I'll do a little bit more research into it. And then Gary, I'll come back to Insightful Accountant and do a webinar for you
That'd be awesome.
on what I found.
That'd be fantastic. So I'm going to throw up the last poll, and then, which is the slides have been up there for a while. So either one of you, actually, I'll give you each one of them one more minute. MB, you have any parting advice?
No, I think that, my advice would be, like with anything else, is really try and map out what you're looking for you, for your practice. I'm really basically just me, except for the little that my daughter does. So what works for me might not work for you. And so you have to figure out what's going to work best for you in your practice. And then, as Sharon said, maybe not minimize what apps you're using, but don't go overboard either, that you're really going to make your life more complicated because you have so many apps.
All right, let's do it.
I
Esther?
would say like MB, I do a lot of project work. So something like Liscio might not work for me because I don't do ongoing accounting or bookkeeping or something like that. But it is really easy to just keep buying more and more apps. And then you kind of lose track of what you're spending and what your ROI is. So I know there are apps out there that keep track of your apps. I know that. But I think that you got to take stock of the apps that you're using and what you're paying for them, and maybe cull from time to time if you're not if you're paying for something that you're not getting any benefit from.
Wonderful. Sharon, last word.
There is more than one way to drink your vodka. So you got to do what works for you, and you got to, find out. We talked about this yesterday on a different session. Find out what that problem is, solve for that problem, and then go from there. And like I said, for me, it's less is more. But yeah, don't settle. There's a million different ways to do one thing. So you really just got to find out what works for you. So like you see, all three of us have completely different tech stacks. I think the only thing we had in common was Zoom and Gmail. And you could bring 4 more people in and we'll probably have 4 more different tech stacks. So again, just do your research and find what works for you.
And by the time we meet again, I will have a password app.
I will no longer have this file cabinet or these notes. I promise. That's what I'm working on.
That's what I'm going to work on as soon as Esther sends me her code.
And I did look it up. That Remarkable is like $300 for the tablet itself.
Yeah, for the tablet itself, and then there's also the pen, which is Remarkable. The pen is separate, and this is the second generation pen that has an eraser on the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kept saying Rocketbook, but Rocketbook's the one that I have in here and don't use.
Right.
All right. Well, Esther, MB, Sharon, thank you so much for helping us wrap up Future Forward. Certainly appreciate your insight. Appreciate the participation from the audience. You guys certainly help kind of guide and direct our conversation, and you add to it as well. So thank you all. Thanks everybody for participating. It has been a wonderful 2 days. Glad you were here, and we look forward to seeing you either on another webinar soon or face-to-face sooner. Thanks a lot. See you soon.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, bye everybody.
Bye.